Berlin Cemetery Commission taking place, and we're subject to being recorded. Be aware of that, and we're here. Present is Barry Yeager, Brenna Ewing, and Robert Guile. 100% attendance. And our first order of business is, following the town election, is to organize for offices for the year. Is there a motion to keep the present organization or something else?
I am perfectly okay with being clerk if everyone likes me doing that. I don't need to be the moderator.
Happy with,
Are you happy with your role?
well, I've got 2 roles already, so.
Right.
I might as well, I don't need a third.
You don't need another job. Do you get another job? We'll get you another job. Except that my writing implement just collapsed on me, so I gotta go to pen. Excuse me.
Well,
Is there a motion to keep the same organization as last year?
Motion to keep the same organization as last year, yes.
Anything to be said on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous vote. Barry Yeager is chair. Brenna Ewing is clerk. Mr. Guile is superintendent, which is a separate action that we do at another time in the year. We deal with a contract on that. Okay, do we need to do bills and all that stuff?
yeah, this is, that's last.
All right, we have the superintendent's pay and some burials for March. And that's all the papers for that. Okay. $569. Is there any question about paying that? If not, I will declare it payable and I will sign the voucher.
Okay.
And do we have anything else?
This is the April.
These are the bills for April. And this covers,
That's the full burial. There was,
yeah,
I had 4 burials that month. 3 in 1.
we've got a burial as well as the monthly bill for the superintendent. There's 3 burials on this, 2,
4.
4,
A full and 3 ashes. And the other one had 2 ashes.
yeah. All right. And if there's no objection, I will sign this and we'll move this one along. I knew we'd have 2 of those this month because we didn't have a meeting last month because we didn't have a quorum, i.e. none of us showed up.
Yep.
We didn't have any pressing business other than bills at that
Excuse
time,
me.
so. That was that.
Stay over here.
What do we have for situations, doing the situations we need to deal with?
No, I had that, one thing, trying to word, I see the best way to word this. Stuff got weed whacked that shouldn't have, and, the person met with the parties and it's got understood that to be more careful, and if you're not sure, just leave it alone.
Yeah, issues about mowing and having them pay attention to the things that are there and
Yeah, it was,
respect them.
yeah, well, it wasn't sure, but that was discussed, and so it's understood.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate that it got weed whacked before the discussion rather than
Well-
after, but,
We did have a complaint and it was addressed and.
gotcha.
That was that, and that's about
Yeah.
as much as you can say on TV.
And we're being watchful about those problems because we've observed some other things like that. And coming into the season when people have a lot of plantings there, we don't want them
Good God,
mowing
no.
the people's stuff off after they, as soon as they plant it.
Good God, no.
It was more the weed whacker,
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I have a happy report.
Yes.
I don't know Amanda's last name, but Amanda is a Berlin resident, and she was a volunteer to responding to my query on Berlin Facebook page if we could get some volunteers, and she told her that we needed to clean the bittersweet out of some places, and
I saw that I was in there.
you were leaving as we were pulling in.
Okay, well, I saw the piles.
Yeah.
After it's, you guys
And there's,
really,
yeah.
Really cleaned
we
that crap,
really-
junk out of
We
it.
Yeah.
really got it all. And the one that, this
The-
one is the one direction that it doesn't look so good. But that's, I think that's the south side, and now that we've taken off of, or I don't know, maybe from the west, now that we've taken off the mat of stuff
yeah.
that was on the south side, the tree can come back.
Breathe.
Cause it was just, it was like it had a giant wig on top of it,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
of bittersweet.
Cleaning out additional things that were growing in the tree by the fountain on the front of the cemetery. And It's
Definitely.
been an increasing problem over the years, and we really did a job cleaning it up.
We've
So
tackled
that
it.
Hopefully, the tree can come back and be the ornament that it's supposed to be.
That it's supposed to be for the front entrance.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it looks a lot better for this Memorial Day than it has in quite a while.
And that stuff can just get dumped over the banking, right?
Well, actually, it shouldn't be. It should be burned.
Well, I ain't got no matches.
Don't dump it. Let Henry take care of it. Henry will burn it for us.
Okay.
I'll-
So I was just gonna get it
Yeah,
out,
no,
just
that'll.
go get it out of there.
No,
and-
that'll send, it'll reroute all
Okay.
over the banking, which we don't want.
Okay.
That's not a good idea. But yeah, I'm real happy with the outcome. And then the other thing that I was gonna try to tackle before the weekend is to clean all the debris off the steps. It's just got,
Which
you know,
steps?
the steps that come up from the triangle
Oh,
by
yeah,
the-
by
by
the
the-
vault.
by the
Yeah.
vault.
Yeah, that's a yearly thing.
Yeah, there's just a mass of, you know, vegetable degree,
Still
vegetation.
leaves off that
Yeah,
mulberry
yeah,
tree.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Invasive growth.
Invasive growth. So we did a good job. And then,
Great.
now we've got, Barry and I worked together, and we've got the layout map for the perpetual care for Saturday,
For the flower
for the flowers,
stuff.
flower planting. And I am going to forward a copy of this to Amanda because she has a a daughter who's all excited about digging in the dirt, so she thinks that she could maybe go over there and do a few of these.
Yeah, why not?
So that, and I don't know whether we'll be able to, Noah Nelson mentioned to me that he might be interested in helping. I don't know what his availability is this week, but I'll ask him to, and then, you know, anybody else comes forward, we'll take it.
I would
Yeah.
call attention to the things where there's 8 to be planted.
Any
and
of them.
Yeah,
6 to be planted and 8 to be
Right,
planted. in
right.
Some places there's only 1 or 2.
is this a 10? 10 there, 8, 8?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, cause that's where we really got bogged down, is that a 10?
yeah, there's
That's
a
a
10,
10.
there's a 10 there.
I can't read this one, that might be a 6.
Yes, there's a
5,
6.
1, 1,
Yeah.
5, 8.
And you have to, over in here, there's a couple of them that when you get there, somebody's already gone and planted stuff there, so you really have to be careful about
Right,
how you figure out to add our stuff to it.
yeah.
Most of
And
them, there's nothing else
This
planted
is
there.
a
Yeah,
12 and an
Yeah,
8
that's the big one. And I'm
and
gonna,
another 8.
we should meet and look at that 12 and talk about it
All right,
on the spot,
yeah.
because
4, 4, 4, 8.
it's always been kind of a mess, and I'd rather put less by the big stone, and there's 3 headstones right there, and I'd like to put some of them by the headstones that are there, because that's how,
How is that gonna,
Lona Mae Johnson's lot.
yeah, how's that gonna play out as far as mowing?
Gonna what?
Play out as far as mowing? That's the other,
So this is one plot and it has several stones in this number 96? Is that what you're talking about, or you're talking about going down the line to 75 and 76?
96
Yeah,
has
12,
a big stone in the middle,
yeah,
which goes the wrong way on the lot.
okay,
I mean, compared to all the other lots. It's
Yeah.
not wrong in their view, but it's, and
Oh.
we've got 12 to go on one side of it. And they get crowded in
Sure.
with the other things that are there, and,
Right. So, but also in this lot, there's other stones?
there's,
Gotcha.
there's headstones as
instead
well.
of putting this thing like this, I think.
Big
they-
ones.
They turned it a
Yeah.
quarter turn.
Yeah.
How they set it, instead of like this.
Yeah, but if we look at
Or
it
they
together, we
turned it
can
like
decide
this.
what to do. I've
All right.
always put them all in between where George used to, and I'm not really satisfied with that. That
Okay.
It's just a crowded mess,
Okay,
and,
all right. Cool,
Oh,
so, go ahead.
um, the highway took a bunch of trees, some trees down at the cemetery too.
they took down,
Those maples, the maple that was in the rectangular, that big maple,
yes,
and they took the other one down by, the Lepan lot. Those, and they ground them and seeded it,
yeah,
so they were getting real tired
yeah,
and dangerous, and so those
Yeah.
are gone, and they also got the, dead oaks on the back wall.
yeah.
That danger's gone too.
Oh, they got the dead oak?
The big ones.
Yeah,
Those are
wonderful,
gone.
wonderful. Been driving me nuts. I really didn't like that
Well,
hanging there all the time.
They're
Excellent.
on the ground.
Okay. Well, that's good. One of the things that we should talk about is whether there's anything we want to get done with funding that's available before the end of the fiscal year in June. And, I mean, we know about what this is gonna cost now, and I don't know, I think there's plenty of funding there this year. I don't think
I
we've
don't
spent
know
all that much, so, if we wanna hire some work done, we can.
Okay,
If we can find somebody that'll do it.
do some,
And I would suggest you look around and be working on a list on a regular basis that so when we have this situation, we've got some things we would like to take care of. That are more than we wanna tackle ourselves.
oh, yeah, oh, definitely.
Um,
Sometimes it's easier.
And the tree work, of course, is one of them. I noticed that, I mean, the amount of twigs and branches that fall off the trees every winter is just incredible. And, I don't know whether we need to, whether that's just gonna get taken care of by the mowing crowd, or how that, whether there's things to do with things like that, but,
They usually go through and pick up
yeah,
when they're there.
Yeah.
And spring and fall and,
yeah. I don't know what else we've got lying at the moment.
Well, we've got stones cleanup and stones repair and fixing the foundations of stones. Where they're, you know,
Well,
we're
that
just
certainly
refilling.
That's one of the things that could be dealt with, is some of the monuments that need work,
Yeah,
especially things that there's nobody around to, in a family, to take care of. and
sure.
it's Just gonna be a problem. so.
No, as I was walking around, I was wondering, as I was, showing, Amanda, on the slope, sort of, so the Brewer one, that's an 8,
Yeah,
and then over here somewhere, there's a stone that, there's like I think there's 3 stones, and the one in the middle is just like lost a bunch of soil. You could see like the underpinnings.
oh,
And I'm like, I wonder, I made a mental note, and I'm like, couldn't just a couple of buckets of loam and some
there's a
seed?
pile out back.
So, yeah,
There's a
Yeah.
pile of
Right,
stuff I keep,
right.
there's a small pile out back.
so yes,
Yeah.
is the answer, absolutely, okay. All right, cool. So how do you tell the difference between a stone that needs to have its foundation redone and a simple refill? Like, what are you looking for in terms of if it's more complicated than just where the ground is sunken? I mean, obviously, if the stone is tipped,
tipping is the biggie.
tipping
'cause
is
you don't want 'em
biggie,
falling
but
over.
if it's right where it's supposed to be and it's just the ground is gone, it's like it looks like it washed out.
Possibly something could have dug there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
those damn turkeys.
Well,
A
that,
varmint get in there and
Bathing.
dug something.
The bathing turkeys, yes,
Yeah,
the
and,
dust bathing turkeys, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good candidate.
yeah, they get in there when it's dry, they make a mess,
Oh, yeah,
they're dusting themselves.
yes, getting the lice off their feathers, okay. All right, I will pass that on to Amanda.
Um,
I have no idea how much she and her kids are gonna get done, but she was gung ho for the tree, so maybe she'll
yeah.
make a good dent.
Well, cleaning up and dig, and some of the places where there's 4 and 5 and 8 plants, if it's
Prepped.
prepped a little, gonna make
It's
it a lot easier.
easier to do the planting,
On Saturday,
George, you said.
right,
it's coming fast.
it's coming fast, and
Did you
Les?
get a confirmation from Michael?
Yeah.
Okay,
cool,
okay.
so the flowers are confirmed.
Yes. The flowers are confirmed, and hopefully we'll be able to do this. But it still is a job, and it's something to do, and I've
So you're gonna take delivery, what, Saturday morning?
Hmm?
You're gonna take delivery Saturday morning or Friday?
Yeah, they'll be there by 9 on Saturday morning, so we can
Gotcha.
start doing stuff.
Where do they come right to us, to the cemetery?
They
So-
come to the,
To the house?
they deliver them by the shed. and
Yeah, yeah,
Then the big thing is we have to take them to all the places they go.
right. How many wheelbarrows do you have?
One.
One wheelbarrow?
I was gonna bring one, I was
So I
thinking
could
I could
trot
bring
one-
one from home.
I could trot one down the street
Yeah.
too. That would be helpful. I got some of the little shallow ones that are really maneuverable,
Yeah.
and they're nice for,
It's supposed to be good weather Saturday.
good,
The big thing is that getting them onto the right lots is something that somebody needs to do that knows where they're going.
right,
And, getting them in the right spots on the lots is another one.
Yeah, because you're gonna be on the wrong side of the stone.
I've marked this so that it's all on there,
Right,
but whether somebody who is not familiar with it is gonna be able to tell that is another. For instance, if the 8 is here, it means it goes on this side of the stone.
right.
If the number is on
Other side.
the other side, then it goes on the other side of the stone.
Well, this one says 4, and then down here it says 6 pink. So
Yeah.
presumably
There's 4 red ones to
yeah,
go on the back and 6 pink ones to go
in
on
the front. Sure, sure, sure.
There's 6 pink
Sure,
there,
sure, sure.
and there's 6 pink over here.
And,
Those are the 2 places that the pink ones go.
Yeah,
And
I
it's all
gotcha.
all Julia Brewer's doing, I
Ju-
think.
Julia Brewer. Look over 285, where is, oh, I've got it over my thing.
yeah,
Where
Reed
is it?
tile is 5 on one side, 5 on the other.
Oh, I see pink.
Reed tile is 5 on one side, 5 on the other.
Yes, it used to be, they used to put 10 on the back, and one year somebody put 5 in front and 5 in back, and I have been doing it that way in recent years.
Yeah,
Because
and
it
this-
looks, the lot,
It looks
otherwise,
bad.
the front of the lot looks like it's absolutely
Overcrowded.
bare. No, it
Well,
looks
it's like
bare.
Oh.
nobody cares. Looks like
They
Right.
were going on the back, and
Right, got you.
you don't
Gotcha.
want it to look bare. So
No.
5 in front and 5 in back makes the, whichever light you look at it, it looks like there's somebody paying attention to it. And in going through old papers last year, I think it was the doings of Harris and Marjorie Field that put Reed Tyler into the list of places to do.
Huh,
They're the ones that put the flower fund on it.
Okay.
interesting.
Because was some correspondence from her that indicated something about it after they'd left town. And,
How sweet.
if she was the one asking, then that's what it was. And, well, they are people that could decide to be appreciative of Reed, and I'm appreciative of Reed. It's one of the reasons, when I'm in the cemetery, that's one of the places I take care of through the season. If I'm in there, water and stuff and so forth, I'll take care of his lot.
So is
because-
that Dan's father?
Huh?
Is that Dan's father?
No, his uncle.
His uncle.
But he's the one that left the education fund that sent us to college.
He's
Gotcha.
sent a lot of people to, given a lot of money to a lot of people to go to school.
It paid, the total of it paid for 1 semester of my college education.
Wow.
You know, a couple of $100 a year, for 4 years, and that was enough to pay all the bills for 1 semester for, so there's an eighth of the college
of your
education
education.
came from him,
Yeah.
and a lot of other people's too,
Right,
Yes.
right.
and it continues. It continues.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
Danny was not as thrilled about it, because Danny thought he'd get an inheritance, and he didn't.
Oh, jeez, poor Dan. Oh,
Danny
right.
got the kitchen clock.
Oh, boy.
He talked about it for years.
Right.
I got the kitchen clock, he said.
Yeah, I mean, Berlin got to go to
My
college.
rich uncle and I got a kitchen clock. But the rich uncle was thinking about the town and the people of the town in a way that very few do.
And it made a huge
Yeah.
difference.
That's,
So, you know, when I'm talking to people in Massachusetts, because I worked in Brookline at the Sargent Estate as a gardener for
Yeah.
several years, and I got to know the personalities of the people in, particularly in the farming community in Brookline. Brookline has a 18th century farm in the middle of it.
yeah,
And one day it occurred to me that Brookline is the urban Berlin, and Berlin is the rural Brookline.
Oh,
And it's because of this Reed Tyler fund that we're so well educated. Hello?
It helps. It helps. It helped, and his intention was to encourage people to go to school.
That's amazing.
And,
That's amazing.
the school committee is the one that's in charge of it. And,
Because what it does is it turns farmers into peers with
Yeah.
with newcomers. People come from outside.
Yeah.
And they discover, oh, these people are not slouches. They know what they're educated. Look at this. I can't pull the wool over their eyes because they know what they're talking about. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to sharpen my pencil.
when the
It's cool.
when the town of Clinton was trying to build the access road along the railroad to Clinton,
Clinton.
to bypass Berlin and 62. And they came to town, to a public hearing of the state at the town hall to do it. People started getting up and saying things. And they got about, 3 speakers into it, and some guy from the state said, "Is this a college town?" But he'd heard from people like your father
Yeah,
and me and several others, and, we were taking them apart piece by piece on the different things that we knew we could do
Different
it on.
points,
And I got
right.
up and talked about the historic things that were along it that
right.
needed to be watched for and
And
dealt with and so forth.
preserved, and
And they just,
Dad was talking about frogs and duckies and salamanders
Yeah.
and wild orchids, no doubt.
Well, it comes right up through the swamp.
and
Yeah.
several other people.
Yeah, a
And,
species that could never be
but
replaced.
is this a college town? No, but
We've been to school.
we got a few people here that know how to make a good show.
Oh, my goodness, it's so
And,
funny.
but
That's
that
funny.
was funny, and and then after a couple more spoke, the guy just kind of closed his book and said, "We really don't want to deal with this place."
I don't want to deal with these people.
Of
Yeah.
course, nowadays, we look at the thing and wonder whether we would've been better off if we'd let them build it. Because we wouldn't have all that traffic in the center of town and be gummed up so much as we are, with all of that, but that's all right.
Yeah, but no one ever thought that the volume of traffic would increase like
Yeah.
that, like most places. You never think.
So where did they
It'll
want to
change.
where do they want to put a road parallel to the railroad?
They were gonna run it on the railroad, they were gonna
The
take the
railroad
railroad
bed.
bed.
And run it,
From down in East Berlin, they were gonna go onto the railroad bed and run all the way to West Berlin on it.
go right up Boylston
All the
Road.
way to the brook in West Berlin, and then they'd come off and go out Boylston Road or something to get to Clinton.
And that would reroute 62.
That would have been the new 62, yeah,
Oh, my God.
yeah, yeah.
Just like they did with, when 62 went out by Rose Garage, they changed it so it goes up Boylston Road.
But it didn't happen.
Through Carterville it used to go.
Well, that was, oh God, the representative from Clinton, the Irishman from Clinton that was the state rep.
Philbin?
Hmm?
Philbin?
No,
O'Brien?
no, he was in the Congress. Oh God,
I don't know the guy's name.
I can't remember. And I should, I know the name will come out one of these
Long
times.
before Harold, right?
Tommy Fallon.
Fallon.
Oh, okay.
Fallon.
Tommy Fallon.
And he was trying to sell that one, and it didn't happen. But Clinton was, all the highways got built a town away from Clinton, all the way around them.
Yeah.
And they were looking for ways, they did get that cut in Sterling that
Right.
goes over to 12 to
Yeah.
get to 190, they got
190.
that one.
Right.
But they didn't ever get the one they wanted east to 495, to give them a better road to
Try
connect
to
with
bring in
495.
Sure.
Businesses.
But all the highways went around them and
All
didn't
over.
quite go through Clinton, which
Right, definitely.
they economically really wanted.
Sure.
Yeah, because it wasn't,
Sure.
it was, any place to get from off the highway to there was not easy, so.
Right.
Yeah. But,
About the best they had is Route 12 from 190.
yeah. But at any rate, that was that one.
And Route 70.
I
That's all they
don't,
got.
and they come out Route 70 and down to 290, 70 and 140.
Yeah.
They got ways to do it, but they didn't get any superhighway into Clinton, so, or even real close to it.
I think it's partly what retained the charming quality Clinton, personally, but I can see why why they were trying to do that.
Economically, trying to get into Clinton would be hard, to build a highway.
Yeah.
And,
Well, because the reservoir's right there, like, what are you gonna do?
you gotta go around that, you gotta go some way that doesn't
Over it?
go through that.
Right.
so.
Yeah,
But at any rate, that was, of course, it's not as
Interesting.
if Clinton hasn't made out enough with the state, because they get their water for nothing, they get their sewer for nothing. The state pays for all of Clinton's water and sewer
Because of the dam.
as part of the deal for the reservoir.
yeah, they're set all right.
So they, as a town, they make out pretty well that way. At any
Yeah.
rate, that's what the status of that is. Is there, we'll go do this on Saturday, and hopefully we'll have some volunteers to help us.
Yep.
And,
What's the status of the sign now that we voted to change the zoning? We voted to change
Yeah.
voted to change the zoning so that Brill Memorial can put up a sign,
yeah,
15 square feet on each side, and
Yeah.
then locating one in the center of town. What's the
well,
what's the timeline now that
we
we
passed the zoning.
Yeah,
They still have to come up with a plan
Site plan.
for the sign and get that approved and get money to do it with.
right.
Because we didn't vote money, we just voted
No,
the zoning to
I
allow
know,
it.
I know. So what
So-
do you think is the projection? How long is it gonna take them to do that, and where are you thinking it's gonna
Not my
go?
problem, somebody else's problem.
Yeah, yeah.
I was one of the people who voted no.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I hate things. I think that if you're gonna allow a sign like that, you should allow a business to have a sign like that too. I think it's ridiculous for the town to create a special bylaw to allow 2 signs of this type in the town, and then tell a business they can't have a comparable sign.
You lead by example.
Yeah,
You're gonna do it, so you
let the other people do it too.
know,
And to tell the businesses they can't have that kind of a sign at all, and then to create a special bylaw to allow you to have one, I don't think is right.
it's not,
That's why I vote against
it's
it.
not.
I don't think it's fair.
It's not.
And that's a Charlie Yeager view. That's my brother Charlie coming out, because he absolutely hated it when they'd make special things for people.
For people.
And not allow other people to do the same thing.
Right.
Or make a rule that you can't do this, and yet so-and-so's already got one, so they're all right. I mean, all this.
Right, grandfathered in or whatever bullshit, yeah.
Forget it. What's a rule for one should be a rule for all. And if you don't wanna, if you say you don't want them, then you don't want them, and if it's good, if you wanna make one a special way for like this, then why wouldn't you let a business make that special way too?
Well, in some ways, you install a gate in the fence and you let some of the cattle. And if it turns out that it's okay, they're okay over there,
Yeah.
then the next thing
That's
is
right.
for, the business owners to get together and petition the town to see if they can have 7.5 square feet of sign out in front of their places.
Well, or the same thing, I mean, they could have a sign that big, but they can't have one that's programmable, that they can change
Digitalized.
electronically.
Digitalized.
That's what they won't allow, is because they're illuminated from within and stuff, and they won't allow that. And it may well be that after these signs, one or both of these signs get put in for a while, that somebody will say, well, actually, we could allow that kind of a sign anywhere.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
but with the same restrictions in terms of, the thing they didn't want is one that's got a bunch of moving stuff on it, or flashing stuff on it, or
Right, we
a
don't
bunch
want
of crazy colors.
neon. and-
Screaming at
right.
things. But, and these are pretty conservative signs that they're putting in. They're programmable and changeable, but they've even got a thing in there that they can't change every minute or something. They gotta have more time between so that they don't,
So
So
you
it's not
can
just-
sell advertising on it.
So,
Yeah.
and it's not a distraction to drivers
yeah,
either.
that's the other thing. And I will say that that's something I don't like, is putting signs like that near an intersection.
Right.
That thing flashing at Pleasant Street, that intersection is very dangerous.
The blinky.
It's a
Blink.
wonder we don't have more accidents there.
Blinky,
And
it had a Pleasant
the
Street.
idea of having a sign that you're trying to read 2 or 3 different shows of
Right.
is not good there. It's not good there.
Well, somebody, when I was talking to somebody about this whole thing, they were talking about when Blinky was down on the Rotary, and they would have to go around the Rotary several times to see
Yeah.
see the whole message.
Yeah,
Except for they saw the first part, and then they'd,
yeah, I don't.
Like I do. You
I-
ride by after 3 or 4 days, you get the whole message.
right,
Yeah.
right, exactly, but that
They'll
was,
make
that was their
special
point,
trips.
is like, yeah, waiting until it comes around so
Because
they
usually
can,
everything they put on that sign is far enough ahead. If
Yeah.
you go by every day, you should be able to
Right.
read the whole thing.
But you shouldn't be trying to read a sign like that when you're driving along.
No.
And driving through an intersection and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, because they're probably trying to juggle their.
No way we want it along in the center where there's a lot of crossing of streets and turns into.
People walking,
Turns,
yeah.
and, it just should
Yeah.
not be there. Might be able to put it down by the old fire station. When it was there, I thought that worked pretty well, because you're running a straight piece there before you get to the
Either
intersection.
point, yeah.
You buy the sign before you get to that. But you don't wanna, you really don't wanna have it in a place where people's attention is gonna be distracted.
Gonna be
and
taken away from driving.
Make it dangerous for pedestrians or for the drivers or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah, I get it. Well, cool, so
well, maybe next year we can apply for one for the cemetery. What can we put on it?
well, we could say that we need volunteers, and that was my point, was what,
Don't drive on the grass.
besides.
Stay
it's
out.
Muddy, keep out.
Muddy, keep out.
Wait till,
Take-
wait till spring.
Not
your-
plowed
take-
for winter, wait
take
till
your-
spring,
Take your dog duty home with you.
yes, yes. So, and my question was just regarding whether we had another means to reach out to people that might wanna volunteer to help us this week.
Well, if we got people that'll come when we're there, we're happy to do it. And it would seem to me that something that can be done outside a meeting to simply, if we have some volunteers, we can simply organize a day to get in there and do things.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, the big thing is getting all this planting done and clean up stuff for spring, which the highway is gonna do a lot of, because they've already got the money from our budget to do it with.
What's that?
Um,
Cleaning up.
the money that was formerly in our budget.
Do the mowing, you mean, and weed whacking?
What?
To do the mowing and weed whacking?
Yeah.
Do we wanna meet the first week in June, see where our money is?
What?
You need a hearing aid, Barry.
You need to talk louder. I'm just damn near deaf with this head cold.
Yeah, well, you're not much better without the head cold either.
I know that.
So the first week of June, Tuesday the 4th would be, when does our fiscal year end?
July 1st.
July 1st.
June 30th.
June 30th. So that would be wise if we were to have a special meeting on the Tuesday, the
You can even
4th.
have a special meeting, you can even have a Wednesday.
Why not have a work day?
A work day.
Well, I don't know.
Meet at the
Yeah, well,
cemetery.
see where the money, more to see where the money is. At the end of the month, between the
Right.
flowers and everything
I
else.
am not worried about the money.
Okay,
We've got some.
okay.
I'm
We've
worried
got
about the
some.
work.
And if there's things people want to put on a work list now, that's something we can do now.
What about the, cleaning the stones?
Would rather let that one wait till we're past spring.
Okay,
That doesn't mean it isn't something that can be done, but we're not ready to right now, and we need to do the things for,
okay. Well,
For the growing
were you
season.
able to get we appropriated the money? Did you ever get the cleaner?
no.
Yeah. Let's-
I need to try calling those people again and seeing whether I can get at that. That's what I brought this pad for, was to write down the things I ought to do for this.
Yep.
That you have to get from a selected vendor, but
Right.
the rest, anything else is stuff you can get in the hardware store, so.
Yep.
Oh, the gloves and stuff like that.
Brushes and gloves and,
Right. Right.
spray bottles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, maintenance stuff that we can do, do you seriously wanna do a workday early in June?
It would have to be, a Wednesday,
A Wednesday,
because that's the day I have off.
sure. Robert's day off is a Wednesday.
Yep, and Wednesday's the day that I'm tied up at the hysterical. That doesn't mean there might not be one that I'm not, but I could arrange not to be some
Yeah.
week.
So, June 5th is a Wednesday. June 12th, June 19th, June 26th, that's awful close,
It's too close.
too close. Juneteenth is a Wednesday.
June what?
Juneteenth,
Juneteenth is a Wednesday, yeah.
Juneteenth is a Wednesday, when we,
I might have to work that day.
when we celebrate
Well, it's,
African Americans
it's
who
time and a
discovered
half.
that they had been emancipated for however many years already.
That's time and a half.
Well, it's just Texas catching up.
Yeah. What should we do? He's thinking.
Have it another day, I'll just be late.
Yeah, I mean, we've got daylight till
I'd
eight-
say why
eight-
not like the 10th or whatever. What is it?
10th is a Monday,
No, the 12th.
12th.
the 12th. Okay, does that work for you?
It's fine.
All right. Cemetery work day.
Now, do we wanna work in north or south or center or where?
I am open. What do you think?
What are you gonna do for work?
I figure it's gonna be apparent when we get there. I mean, does the old cemetery need attention? I think South is the one that needs,
I think I'd start with south.
yeah.
We can do another day in each of the others in the course of the season.
So what number Pleasant Street is that?
No idea. I don't even,
It doesn't have a number, it's one of the things I need to do is get that done.
when the guys punch it up for GPS, it sends them on the other side of the road.
Yeah. I do have a dummied up number for it that's based on the house across the street from here,
Uh-huh.
but I haven't ever gotten that done. Oh,
Is there a number for North Cemetery too?
I have one for that too. I've got numbers for all three of them, but I haven't ever dealt with getting them onto the system.
Yeah,
And we
'cause
need to get them on the system with fire departments so that they'll be there for
Right, I thought I
911.
thought we
Yeah.
had done
Also-
that.
No,
I
no.
thought we had
Also, the
done it.
vault guys come and they push it into their GPS, and one of
Right.
the guys,
Yes,
it would
yes.
send them across the street, I think, to Henry's house.
Yeah.
He, observed, he had been there before, and he can kinda see the cemetery.
Sometimes I tried using the directions to the corner of Pleasant Street and Sawyer Hill Road as the way to get to it, to south. But, if we get those into the system with the fire department and get them approved that way, we can, then they will find their way into all of these
The
other
GPS and
places
all
over
that stuff.
time. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
So,
That's one for my list too. And I've had on it for a long time that I keep forgetting about. And we'll look at some of one of the things we can be doing on that workday is pick out some stones that we definitely wanna work on, consider for cleaning.
so there's, Henry's is 187.
Is what?
Henry Pacific is at 187,
Yeah, it's the next one up.
and this one's 183.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be, I think, 184, but I'll check that and get it.
184, question mark.
Well, I just assume not write those in there now.
Well, it's just,
When they're completed, we'll
yeah,
write
yeah,
them in
yeah,
on there.
yeah, I got you.
I don't want confusion later.
No, I don't either. However,
So,
uh,
is there other business at this point?
No,
not that I know of.
Hearing none, do you wanna read the minutes of the last meeting? We need to do that, February.
So, March 19th, minutes to March 19th, 2024, meeting began at 3 PM. Barry, Brenna, and Robert all present. Open meeting which was recorded by Berlin Cable. Minutes for February were read and accepted. Discussion of the fact that the treasurer and the tax collector left on Friday and never came back. So now that the finance office is at 1.5 staff, so our perpetual care funds reinvestment, it was on hold. Actually, that's something that we could discuss again. Bills for February were reviewed. Discussion of recent deaths and burials pending. Discussion of correspondences. Brenna agreed to put an announcement regarding spring cleanups needed online on the Facebook Berlin Mass Neighbors Connect page, which I did, mentioning both South Cemetery and North. Robert discussed talking to Fred, following up on the South Cemetery paving, which will be included in the 3-year contract to be done as time and conditions permit. Further discussion on files from George Pendergast, which had been received and filing was completed. Barry's book is updated regarding burials and grave sales for 2023. But there was further recording and filing that needed to be done. I submitted that I have all the components for fabricating the new additional books except for the adhesive for the grave records books, which I still have on hand and thought about it, but I haven't done anything with it. Discussion of tree work. There was a tree that fell in the old burial ground that needed cleanup. The highway department was to deal with it, and I know they did.
they did.
Shrubs at South Cemetery are overgrown, need removal, plus trees that need to go. Robert was to follow up, which he did, with a list of trees at South Cemetery and the old burial ground, and I presume you brought them to the next meeting, which we didn't have, so this is it. So this is the
Well-
meeting, but you dealt with it, right?
Some of it, yeah, the shrubs were gonna go down and, when things calm down for Memorial Day, we're gonna go down and take some more down in the south,
Gotcha,
Shrubs are gonna go where?
out,
Be
through the
removed.
chipper.
Yeah.
yeah. And also discussion with Barry, Barry got a request for location of graves at South Cemetery, which you were to reply to.
Yep.
which I presume you probably
I
did.
think we've done any of that
I-
stuff that we had hanging.
Yeah, that was the March meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had a couple of odd things that have come up lately that are
Motion
things that
to,
I've dealt with.
motion to adjourn was made and seconded, voted 3-0 at 3:47 PM.
Motion to accept the minutes,
Motion to accept?
second. Anything to be said? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we have a unanimous vote to accept the minutes. So you can get those done and up online.
Yep, and I'm just gonna say shrubs at South Cemetery to be trimmed or removed after memorial.
I'll be trimmed right to the ground.
Are we ready to adjourn?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn,
Seconded.
all those in favor?
Aye.